It's the Week 10 edition of Football Friday. Princeton getting set for their final regular season game Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff down at Franklin Field against Penn. Here with Tigers head coach Bob Surace, I'm Cody Crucial. And Coach, let's start off the Princeton gridiron. Stephen Carlson last Thursday night football. First NFL touchdown. This is a guy who came into his junior season at Princeton. So 2.5 years ago, he had 3 career college catches. Last week, he catches an NFL touchdown. I know you've had a chance to have some conversations with him since.
Yeah, and how great was that catch? We've seen that catch over and over against guys in our league or non-conference opponents. Yeah, we saw it the last 2 years, and to do it against a first-round pick from one of the top programs in the country in an NFL game was certainly outstanding. And just credit to Steve. He worked so hard to develop and become a starter, become a top Ivy League player, become a NFL prospect, to transition to tight end and put the weight on and do the things to become an NFL tight end, and to see him thrive already as a rookie is just great, and he's thrilled.
You guys are sort of becoming tight end Jew, even though it's guys that didn't necessarily play tight end here at Princeton. They've been able to make that switch. Yeah,
with Jesper and John Lovett and Seth DeValve, we have 4 of them right now playing in the NFL, or in John's case on the IR. So it's just the way those guys work. The nature of the tight end position, we were talking about that as a staff. It went from being guys who were blockers. You look at the 80s and the 90s, and those guys were primarily blockers who caught the ball. And they were outstanding at that. And then as the Shockies and those guys started to really become integral to the NFL passing game. Now you look at every team, and the Kelseys and Kittles and Gronkowski, a few years ago, they are weapons in the pass game.
Let's talk about your team. 17 straight wins, back-to-back setbacks, and I know you need some help, but you guys are still in this thing heading into Week 10, which is not a bad spot to be. What's the message to the team this week?
Yeah, it's, the thing I love, and it doesn't change. 5 weeks ago, I talked about this team's a joy to coach. They come out, they prepare, they lift hard, they're engaged in the meetings, they practice. I look at our sports science things. We're practicing equally as hard, if not harder, than any year since I've been here. And that makes it fun to coach. And the sad part is, next Tuesday, no practice, right? No more podcasts, no more things that we do, because it goes so fast. And that's the sad part, because you love being around these guys and the work they put in and the preparation for a team that's on a roll. Penn is on a roll. They're playing their best football. The preparation for a team like that has to be at its highest, especially when we've had some missteps the past couple weeks.
When you talk about sports science, what are some of those tools, just real quickly, that you have now that maybe you didn't have when you started here?
Yeah, and that's Jason Gallucci, who's our director of performance, is just amazing. And the two of us might have been 10 years ago not quite understanding that part. Let's go lift weights. Let's go, hit the weight room. And it's gone from, we still lift weights hard. We still go in there and we bench, we squat, we clean, we do those things. But we also measure what guys are doing. So, guys wear an apparatus around their chest. I know how much they've run, how fast they've run. I know their heart rate. I know everything they're doing in a course of a practice, how many sprints they've done. And you can gauge, are they hitting the targets? Did I overdo it? Did I not do it enough? And these guys are not only hitting the targets, sometimes we got to back them down a little because they are working so hard.
Let's talk about your running back, Junior Colin Eady. 10 rushing touchdowns, 12 touchdowns overall. That leads the Ivy League, and sort of in rare company, just the 4th Princeton running back over the last 25 years with double-digit rushing touchdowns. He's a guy that really has a knack to get into the end zone.
Yeah, his ability to, read blocks, his strength. He's a big guy. When you see him, the nature of running backs, and you watch it even in the NFL, there's more guys that might be 5'7", 5'8". They're powerful, they're quick. Colin still has that great foot quickness, but he is tall, he is strong, he finishes runs, has great leg drive and vision.
Your opponent this week, again, a 1 o'clock kickoff Saturday afternoon down in Philadelphia at Franklin Field. Penn, I look at the Quakers, a team that's been a little bit inconsistent. They play Yale and Dartmouth tough. They're blown out by Columbia, but you talked about it. On a roll, 3 straight wins, and they're battle-tested. Those 3 wins by 7 points total. What kind of game is this going to be?
Yeah, you talk about running backs, and Brooks has been one of the best running backs, not just this year, where he's had a great season, but he's had a lot of great seasons. Since he came into the league, he's been a top guy. Senior quarterback, transfer from Georgia, who is doing a tremendous job, dual threat. They'll get the ball down the field. Their offensive line had some injuries. You see an offensive line, and that's probably the area that they've really helped them get on this roll that's playing their best football. Their front 7, they got 2 defensive tackles, interior guys that have just been dominant, throughout. And they're they play a 4-2 box a lot, and they're stopping the run with those 6 guys, and it allows those guys in the secondary to make plays.
And again, Princeton this week heading into Week 10 needs a little bit of help, as you need Yale to lose to Harvard and you need Brown to pick up a victory against Dartmouth. But heading into the final week, if you guys take care of business, you're still in this. So, Coach, good luck Saturday, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Yep, sounds great. Thanks, Cody.